Welcome to the darkest corners of America's interstate system, where 18-wheelers carry more than cargo, and the miles between cities stretch into nightmare territory. These are the stories truckers whisper on CB radios at 3 a.m., encounters that defy explanation and test the limits of human endurance. The Hunter's Trail Jackson, 15-year veteran. What started as a routine Denver to Jacksonville run became a 500-mile nightmare. A black pickup truck began following my rig at the Missouri border, maintaining perfect distance like a predator stalking prey. When I stopped at truck stops, the driver approached other truckers, showing them my photo, asking about my route. The CB crackled with warnings. There have been stories, driver. Truckers getting followed, stalked, some turned up dead. For 3 states, this maniac played cat and mouse, herding me toward isolated stretches of highway. At a state police station, he made his final move, pulling alongside my cab with a gun drawn. I used my 80,000-pound rig to crush him into the median barrier. Police found his kill kit, detailed maps of truck stops, photographs of dozens of drivers, and newspaper clippings about unsolved trucker murders. Michael Crane had been hunting us for years, turning America's highways into his personal killing ground. Trust your mirrors, drivers. Not everyone behind you is just trying to get somewhere. Voices in the Woods. Jakai, 8-year veteran. Federal regulations forced me into the worst possible scenario, parking overnight at an isolated Kentucky rest area. Around 2:30 a.m., I heard a child screaming in the woods, desperate, terrified cries that cut through the darkness like glass. Every instinct said investigate and help. Experience said stay put. When I turned on my exterior lights, the screaming stopped instantly. Turned them off and multiple voices returned, adults and children all crying in agony. But when my flashlight pierced the tree line, I saw them, figures hiding among the trees with speakers, broadcasting realistic screams to lure travelers into the darkness. 3 patrol cars arrived to find a sophisticated criminal operation using professional sound equipment to trap drivers. They'd been operating for days, collecting wallets and phones from victims who answered their fake emergency calls. Not every cry for help is genuine. Sometimes compassion is the weapon they use against you. The cargo that walked Princeton, 3-year veteran, a sealed trailer from Phoenix, should have been routine, just electronics bound for Atlanta. But somewhere outside Abilene, I heard voices coming from inside my cargo. Muffled conversations, then desperate banging on the trailer walls. When police cut the seal, 3 armed figures emerged ready for violence. They weren't victims. They were handlers in a human trafficking operation, equipped with restraints, weapons, and supplies for managing human cargo during transport. The plan: pick up 6 victims at predetermined stops, transport them under my unknowing supervision to Atlanta's sex trade. My truck had been chosen, my route mapped, my inexperience exploited. The FBI investigation revealed a network spanning multiple states, corrupting dispatch systems and exploiting legitimate trucking operations. I was just the first driver to discover the truth before delivery. Every sealed trailer carries secrets. Sometimes those secrets have heartbeats. The highway angel Jason, 10-year veteran, Interstate 55 through Mississippi, a route I'd driven countless times. But that September night, a young woman in white kept appearing on the shoulder. Mile marker 47, then 32, then 22. Same desperate expression, same pleading eyes. Impossible unless. Other drivers confirmed the sightings over CB radio. Local drivers call her the highway angel, one explained. She appears to warn truckers about dangerous road conditions ahead. When she appeared a 4th time, standing in the middle of the highway with both arms raised, I slammed my brakes. Around the next curve, a massive accident blocking both lanes, emergency lights flashing in the darkness. At highway speed, I would have become part of the carnage. Rebecca Martinez died on that stretch of highway in 1987, struck by a drunk driver while seeking help for her broken-down car. She's been protecting other drivers ever since, appearing when accidents threaten to claim more lives. Mile marker 25 holds a guardian who still walks the night shift. The shadow truck Jason, solo driver after 8 years teaming, running alone for the first time after my partner's retirement. I noticed the other truck around the Missouri border. An older Peterbilt maintaining perfect distance, matching my every movement. For hours it stayed exactly a quarter mile back, like it was tethered to my trailer. The truck looked wrong somehow. Faded paint, tarnished chrome, partially transparent in my mirrors like I was seeing it through fog. When I tried radio contact, only static answered. At 1 a.m., crossing into Utah, the shadow truck began flashing its lights, warning signals. Ahead, emergency vehicles surrounded a massive accident. Without that supernatural warning, I would have crested the hill at full speed and slammed into the wreckage. Eddie Thompson died in 1987 during his second week of solo driving, falling asleep at the wheel. He still patrols I-80, watching over new solo drivers making their most dangerous transition, from partnered to alone. No driver is ever truly alone while the shadow truck keeps watch. Dead frequencies, Sam. CB radio enthusiast Channel 19 should carry normal trucker chatter, but that November night brought voices from beyond. Phantom rider requesting immediate assistance at mile marker 247. Multiple casualties need medical evacuation. No accidents existed at that location. No records of any driver using that handle. More voices joined the ghostly frequencies, Steel Thunder and Iron Eagle discussing fuel prices from decades past. Lady trucker trapped in a wreck at mile marker 186, the exact spot where a female driver died in 2003. Then dead man. Walking addressed me directly. We know you drive Memphis to Atlanta every week. This highway belongs to us after midnight. The phantom transmissions followed me across frequencies, threatening and personal, until dawn broke their supernatural hold on the airwaves. The dead still broadcast on CB radio, trapped in endless loops of their final moments. The truck stop that time forgot Casey, 9-year veteran exhausted and off schedule. I took an exit I'd never noticed before. Desert Oasis Travel Plaza, mile marker 287. Modern facility bustling with activity despite the midnight hour. Good food, friendly staff, perfect overnight parking. I woke up in an empty field. No truck stop existed at that location. Never had, according to every database and GPS system. But my fuel receipt told a different story. Desert Oasis Travel Plaza, December 15, 1987. Diesel at 0.98 per gallon DAR. Research revealed the truth. Desert Oasis burned in December 1987, killing 12 people including 3 truck drivers. The facility had been serving phantom travelers ever since, appearing to exhausted drivers who needed rest exactly when they needed it most. Some truck stops served travelers from more than one dimension. The Midnight Knocker Brillin, 6-year veteran 3 knocks. Always at 3:33 a.m. Always the same methodical pattern, 2 seconds apart, precise as clockwork. Different truck stops across 5 states, but the visitor never changed. Video recordings captured clear audio but showed empty parking lots. The knocking followed me hundreds of miles from Texas to Arizona, occurring only when I parked somewhere new. When I finally knocked back, the response escalated. Pounding instead of knocking. A muffled voice, "Let me in." Footsteps on my cab roof. My CB radio broadcasting whispered voices in unknown languages. The midnight knocker targets drivers most alone and vulnerable, drawn to places where death has left its mark. Truck stops built on accident sites, locations with histories of violence and tragedy. At 3:33 a.m., something walks between the trucks, keeping appointments with the living. The vanishing load royalty, meticulous 11-year veteran high-security shipment, Los Angeles to Miami, specialized industrial equipment, premium pay rates, professional facilities, special seals, detailed documentation, everything legitimate and buttoned down tight. The 2008 47-pound container arrived in Miami exactly as loaded, secured, sealed, positioned perfectly. Except it was completely empty. Hollow aluminum box with no trace it had ever contained anything. The shipping companies vanished. The warehouses stood empty. Payment appeared in my account, then disappeared from banking records entirely. No paper trail, no insurance claims, no official record the job ever existed. Other drivers shared similar stories. Cargo that changed weight during transport, containers that altered size between pickup and delivery, loads that defied physical laws. Some cargo is meant to disappear. The question is whether we're moving it to its destination, or it's using us to travel to places beyond our understanding. These highways stretch across more than geography. They cross the boundaries between worlds, between the living and the dead, between what we understand and what defies explanation. Every mile marker holds memories. Every truck stop has witnessed tragedy. And some of those experiences refuse to stay buried. The next time you're driving America's interstates in the deep hours of night, remember you're sharing the road with more than just other travelers. The highways remember everything, and some memories have learned to reach back into our world. Keep your eyes on those mirrors. Trust your instincts and remember, on the darkest stretches of American asphalt, you're never really driving alone. The road goes on forever and so do its stories.